So you're all very welcome to what is a very nice exhibition. I've just had a glance. As you know, we celebrated in May the 40th anniversary of the European Union's visitor programme. I have to admit, as a Member of Parliament, I'm only now becoming more and more aware of the work of the visitor programme. Sometimes I think we could do with an internal European Union visitor programme so that we understood each other better within the European Union. So I'm delighted that we have visitors with us this evening. It's been around for some time, since the 1970s. And I suppose it's like all social and political developments. It's about people coming together, meeting, listening, questioning, and exchanging information and ideas. Many of us will not have had this experience that you've had, but would like to take time out to reflect and understand. We will hear from colleagues in the Parliament who have had experience of meeting with participants of the programme, and we'll tell you more about that very shortly. I'm happy that along with the Commission Vice President, Madame Mogherini, that we both work to promote the efforts of this visitor programme and to continue to invite people to join the programme, because we know that it helps enormously, not just the European Union, but this wider message of how politics across country, across, if you like, nationalities, how it can work better by bringing people together. I know a lot of people here in the Parliament do a lot of work to make it happen, so thank you for the work that you do in helping to build bridges. Because very often the differences that we perceive when we don't know other nationalities or other countries pale into nothing when we meet. I've just had a conversation with our Turkish friend, Mr. Tajdelen, who's a mayor of a city, and we were talking about the refugee crisis, and clearly that issue was addressed today very firmly in the Parliament. And I'm sad to say that to some extent what Turkey is doing in terms of the large numbers of refugees in your country is perhaps not fully understood in the European Union, and I hope that today's debate and indeed our engagement this evening will help better to spread the message of this crisis and how neighbouring countries to Syria are doing a great deal and need our help to do more. I also think that beyond our own borders, those who are here, we need to talk about this issue as being a global one. There's a humanitarian issue and there's a political issue, and indeed we need to build, above all else, peace. And I think the European Union, for all its flaws, and indeed I can list many, it is a peace project, still in the making. Our chamber here is not always peaceful, but it allows people to engage in frank debate without doing harm to each other with weapons. And that's what politics is fundamentally about. It's about the airing of differences and coming to some consensus and conclusions that allow us, where we have difference, to work together. So I hope the visitors programme, to all our guests here from Japan, Albania and Turkey, particularly this week, the week that is in it in the Parliament, is particularly fruitful. And I'm now going to hand over to a very able colleague, Madame Shaka. I hope I pronounce you correctly. I've had the privilege of listening to you, and I was very inspired by your words, and I hope likewise this evening we will be inspired. I'm also to mention that the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee, Mr. Brock, will be along shortly to share his experience. So it's lovely to have this exhibition. I want all of my colleagues in Parliament to see it so that they will understand what is going on behind the visitor programme. And I would hope that you, in the work you do now and where you will go next, will talk about the European Union and the visitor programme and the messages that you learned from it. So thank you for being here. You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to the EU Visitors Programme, to everyone who has worked tirelessly to bring new people in to visit with us, to carve time out of our agendas and to have such valuable conversations. I am myself not 40 yet, and I guess we should make sure that 40 will always remain young, and that we never grow old, but that we always remain curious and open to new ideas and very lively and inspiring conversations. That is certainly how I have experienced the various meetings with EU visitors. I've often been surprised. I have learned a lot from conversations with civil servants, local government representatives, locally elected representatives or parliamentarians from literally all over the world. Only last week I had a conversation with someone from Afghanistan, and it was really valuable to hear from his perspective how the role of the West, with good intentions, also left scars that we still have to heal together. How the country faces enormous challenges it cannot face and address alone. And I equally hope that the way in which our institutions and our representatives of the various institutions open their doors and share their thoughts has given something to our valued visitors to bring home. Tomorrow I look forward to speaking with some of you visiting us this week. There is a lot on our plate. The world is facing, I believe, enormous challenges. War, death, destruction, economic challenges, a lack of jobs for a lot of our people, the youth that is suffering disproportionately from this, and then among the youth, particularly girls, whether it's refugees or whether it's unemployment or a lack of education. And I find that these kinds of topics, how to ensure that the lives of people in our communities are more free, more just and more prosperous, are something that binds people from all over the world and that are always sources for conversation, no matter which view or perspective we take, no matter what cultural or national background or even political identity we have. And so I look forward to many more meetings and conversations with the various visitors that I hope will continue to come. I hope this program also reminds us that Europe is representing values and an open society. I believe this is particularly important in these times where also more narrow perspectives, nationalist perspectives tend to pop up. And I hope that we can challenge this and ensure that Europe keeps its doors open, keeps its minds open, and that this in turn will also show some of our values in practice. It's always interesting to read about it, but to really experience it in conversation and in discussion, not necessarily agreeing, but at least having an open conversation, will continue to be effective and fruitful for many years to come. So thank you very much.
So in the next minutes we're going to call our visitors for this week who are honoring us with your presence. So we will have the EUVP Trophies Award to mark this important moment of the 40th anniversary here in Strasbourg of the EUVP. So I'd like to invite not only Ms. McGinnis to present the awards, to Ms. Mitsuho Kame Onuma from Japan, if you please.
So I put this and I'm not showing this. Okay, thank you. It was well done. Thank you very much.
And also Ms. Jorida Tabaku from Albania. Mr. Alper Tashdelen from Turkey.
Thank you.
So in this order, could I invite you to come and just share your testimony, just to give a simple and brief word about your experience of the EUVP as a EUVP visitor here. So Ms. Kame Onuma, if you please. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Mitsuho Kame. Congratulations to the 40th anniversary of the EUVP. I'm very pleasure to be here today, and this is the actually first time to visit for me to Bristol and Strasbourg. And for me, Japan and around Japan, war still remains. Japan and China's relation, or China's and South Korea's relation, is not always good. So when I visited here in this program, I was so amazed that everyone tried to solve the problem that we face now. In cooperative attitude and looking toward in the same direction. And I really thought, oh, if we have EU in Asia, it's gonna be a big my dream. I thought I should tell our Prime Minister Abe to make like EU in Asia. That is my impression that I joined this program. This is only 2 days, but I feel very impressed that every country can do together in cooperative if we wish the family, especially the Syrian refugees issue is a big issue right now, and we are far from EU or Middle East, so we are a little not thinking of too much in Japan, but I really thought we have to solve this problem together, and I have to tighten Japan and EU relations, and Japan has to more commitment to EU. So I very appreciate all of you that invite me to bring this program to me. I'm very, very happy to be here with you to celebrate 40th anniversary with you guys. Thank you very much.
Mr. Barber, if you please, from Albania.
I know that everyone is thanking, but I also have to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be part of this great program. Actually, the EUVP does what the European Union standard slogan says, uniting in diversity. Besides being united in values, in culture, in processes, this program also unites us geographically with countries who normally do not have geographical relation with Europe. I heard my colleague before saying that we should open our minds, and in my country, opening the minds towards the European Union is actually a very right thing to say. Politics in Albania sometimes can be very tough, but we unite ourselves in one thing, that we want to be part of the European Union. 90% of the Albanians want to be part of the European Union, independently of everything. And the process of the EU approximation of legislation, the process of dealing with all these chapters that we have to approximate with the EU legislation is actually a very important process, and I understand that is more important than the outcome itself. So for me, being here at this program and experiencing the meetings, the parliamentary sessions, the meetings also in Brussels is a great opportunity to bring back home the real feeling that I have had here. So thanks a lot for making this possible, and thanks a lot also for respecting the equal opportunities within our group. Women are like 6% more than normal. So thanks a lot.
And Mr. Erdogan, if you please share your heart with us.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy for being here. EU means freedom. I mean, the European Union represents values like freedom, like liberty, like civilization, humanity, democracy. I think we should talk about these values more, and EU should support these values more. For example, I attended a forum and its subject was the refugee crisis, basically Syrian crisis, and there the topic was to strengthen the borders, take security measures in the borders. For me, EU is a peace project. after Second World War, the states came together, and it was a peace project, and it is still a peace project. But for this, you have to strengthen the values, not the borders, because those people, they are running away from a war, and they are seeking peace. And if these people come to you, you just cannot close the door. This is my opinion. And for plurality, democracy and freedom, these are the values of all. I mean, these are values of ours as well. So just give the chance to support the same values together. Thank you very much.
Just in time.
Vice President, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, I'm quite happy to be here because I can tell you that's a lot of good experiences. I'm nearly so long in the European Parliament as this organization exists, and I must say that, well, let's say I have to congratulate that most of the goals were achieved. I think it's a very important question that the ideas of European integration process, the techniques, the relationship between the institutions, relationships between the European Union and the member states is explained to the outside world. Therefore, such a program for young leaders is an absolute need. If it would not exist, we have to invent it now. We should have invented it now. And therefore, I think there are many good experiences in my long time in European Parliament. I have met people in the early stages as young people, and later found out in other meetings that they are in high positions, as prime ministers, ambassadors, whatsoever. And this, I think, shows that it has a certain impact. Someone who traveled to Brussels and Strasbourg, we have such meetings, institutions, this member of parliament, is always a point in their life, in their young careers, and therefore they will remember. And when they hear something from the European Union, then they have a personal experience and relationship with that. I think it helps all to us. This, I think, is the most important point, that they have understood it, and they have an emotional relationship to the European Union, which is also very helpful when we have to do politics with such people, and therefore they are, at the end of the day, mostly, if we have handled them the right way, ambassadors for the European Union, despite they come from other countries. I remember especially also that it's also helpful in the time of changes. Still in my mind at the moment is 25 years German unification, but it is European unification. German unification and European unification are the two sides of the same coin. And so many young people from former communist countries, at the time of transition, visited the European Parliament, which was very important that to do the transformation in such countries, because there were young people who in very early age took responsibilities in their countries for this transformation process. Therefore, thank you very much. Well done. Good job. Let's continue. All the best for this exhibition.